That was a little bit of Doug Supernaw. I really enjoy that guy. I don't call him daddy. You're listening to Mornings with Lone Star. It's 8:15. Good morning, Montgomery County. It's going to rain today, so I'm going to keep telling you until you grab that umbrella and you have it in your proximity no matter what, because it stinks to get outside and it starts pouring down on you. You're listening to Mornings with Lone Star. We're here every morning at 8 a.m. talking weather news, and then sometimes we have a special guest, like today. We got a Charlie Riley in the studio. He's going out for the County Commissioner Precinct number 2. They're having a runoff, if you folks didn't know, and it's a different date. It's May 27th is the voting day for the runoff. And April 19th, not April, oh, I'm getting this wrong now. Sorry. April 19th through the 23rd is early voting? Is that right?
No,
May. Yeah, I wrote down April because I'm an idiot. May. That's May, people. This is all happening in May. Don't listen to me, but more information, actually the correct information can be found at mctx.org/election. That's the correct information. That's where you need to go. Don't I'm sitting here talking with Mr. Riley about misinformation, and I'm here just spouting it out. But welcome to the studio, Charlie. Do you like going by Charlie, Mr. Riley?
Charlie. I prefer Charlie.
Okay, Charlie. Well, welcome to the studio.
I appreciate you having me here this morning.
Yeah, we're going to learn a lot today. County Commissioner Precinct 2 is something I've always seen on the ballots, and I never really knew enough to where should I be interested in who's running? Should I understand what the role is? There's several questions that come to my mind when I see County Commissioner Precinct number 2, because I imagine Precinct 2 means the area.
That's correct.
And the Precinct 2 is...
Precinct 2 it's 282 square miles is what it ends up being, and it goes all the way from the Spring Creek on the south side of the precinct around Magnolia, all the way up to 105 on the south side of Highway 105 over to Loop 336. It runs down I-45 over to Shenandoah, and we do pick up River Plantation on the east side of 45. So there's, like I say, 282 square miles, about 170-something thousand people in Precinct 2.
So you have a lot of area to cover.
It's a lot of area to cover. There's about 800 miles of county roads that we have to maintain, and that's everything from street signs, the roads, the striping, the ditches, anything that pertains to the roads.
And then with your role as the county commissioner, so we got the area covered.
Mm-hmm.
So what role does the county commissioner play with that area?
Well, like I say, he's in control of all the roads, all the bridges, the roads. The county commissioner will set the tax rate for the whole county. He sets he'll set the budget. He will set the election dates and oversee elections. He's in charge of all the contracts for the county. He reviews all the contracts for the county. There's 4 commissioners and 1 county judge, and they are the administrative body for the county.
Okay, that makes more sense. So when I have a road problem,
mm-hmm.
you're a person I call you're the point of interest, or I guess.
Yes, sir. Over in Precinct 2, my job right now today, my big official title is Manager of Precinct Operations, and I'm in charge of the budget. I'm in charge of personnel, the equipment, material, and like I say, the maintenance of about 800 miles of road. So anybody that has a pothole or a road that's just needs to be overlaid, or a culvert that's washed out, trees that are in the road, we take care of all that.
And then y'all do it efficiently? Because I know y'all want people calling back.
Yes, sir, we do. We don't want to have to go back over and over and over.
Now, can you imagine being in downtown Houston and being in charge of Westheimer area?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want anything to do with Houston.
That would be awful.
I don't know how those guys do it.
I don't think they do it. I think it's they're like 4 years behind, and then they're catching up, and then they're like, oh, let's just scrap the whole deal. Let's start over. Then we'll be another 4 years behind. So it's
a lot to keep up with. It's a whole lot to keep up with right here in Montgomery County, Precinct 2.
Well, it sounds like you have a lot of experience because you're like firsthand experience seeing how the process works over there.
I really do. I was fortunate enough to go to work for Commissioner Doyle back in 2001 as the manager of precinct operations, and that does put you right out with the guys. And I try to stay out there with our guys on the job as much as I can. Of course, there's a lot of administrative work that I have to do, so I can't get out there all the time. But I spend as much time with them out there on the jobs as I can, and I love to go meet the people. That's what it's all about, serving the people in Precinct 2. You go out to meet some of the fine folks. Of course, there's a lot of people that sometimes are not real happy to see us come by because we have to dig a ditch every now and then. If somebody's got nice, pretty San Augustine grass in their ditch, we have to dig it up, and some of those folks are not real happy about that. But most of the time, we can calm them down.
Did you have any funny stories?
I got a lot of stories. I probably can't tell very many of them on the radio.
I guess we got to wait till after the election.
You know, I mean, we've even had, believe it or not, some folks believe that road and that roadside ditch is theirs, and I try to treat them like it's theirs because most people do take care of their yard, and they're proud of them. And I guess our great all with our ditch work is probably our biggest headache, because if you do have to dig, let's just say you had a water problem and you called me and said you have water standing in your yard. Well, I have to dig the guy's next door his ditch to get the water out of your yard, because that's where it's holding up.
Man, neighbors.
And that is hard to, people come home and their ditch is dug and they don't have any reason, they don't know why.
You're the facilitator.
Then you have to go, yes, you have to go out there and try to calm everybody down. But I enjoy it. I love what I do.
Well, it's an important role, that's for sure, because I know that's always been the funny things about having neighbors. You never know what buttons you're going to push, and then especially when you have to dig into somebody else's yard to fix your problem.
You're right.
Because that was I remember when I was younger, that was one of the most interesting things I learned is if a tree grew over your property line, it's your responsibility.
That's right.
So if it fell, and so I'm like, so you could just take a chainsaw to it and kill the tree, and then that creates an issue and all that kind of stuff. It's amazing how it all works. So I'm glad that makes more sense now that the County Commissioner Precinct 2, that's what they do.
There's so much more that we do. I mean, I could sit here and tell you stories all day long about. There's more good than there is bad, I can promise you. We do and get a whole lot more good phone calls than we do bad phone calls, but we do get quite a few that people are not real happy that, like I say, they treat that as their yard, and I'm glad they do. But we have to sometimes tell them, it's ours, and we need to do what we have to do to maintain and make things work right. And some of them get pretty frustrated.
Oh, yeah, I imagine.
They threaten us with lawsuits and threaten us
with
guns. We've had to have the sheriff's office come out there.
So is this like a rancher thing, kind of like in the
kind of like the ranch war sometimes.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not as dramatic.
Not as dramatic yet. No.
That's pretty funny. Okay, I'm sitting here with Charlie Riley, and he's running for the runoff for the County Commissioner Precinct 2. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to get to know Charlie a little bit more coming back. Just to remind people, there's voting going on May 27th for all the runoff stuff, and May 19th through 23rd is the early voting. Check out mctx.org/election for more information. But right now we're going to listen to a little bit of Gene Watson, the old man, and his horn. We'll be right back on Mornings with Lone Star.
Hello, I'm Bonita DeRosa, Animal Control Officer for the City of Willis. We invite you to tune in to Lone Star Internet Radio every first and third Thursday of the month at 11 a.m. for the Willis Hour. On the first Thursday of the month, the Willis Hour will be covering upcoming events and news about the city. Join in the conversation with your city officials and other leaders in the community. On the third, we will be doing a recap of the last City Council meeting. The mission of the City of Willis is to provide high-quality services, accountability, and professional commitment to our citizens. We pledge to provide those who live, work, and visit our city an effective government that is open and responsive to the needs and values of the community. Again, we invite you to tune in on Lone Star Internet Radio every first and third Thursday of the month at 11 for the Willis Hour.
Hello, this is Dennis Nelson, inviting you to come with me through the doorway of imagination and into the theater of the mind. The Players Theater Company Old Time Radio Hour presents a play every Saturday night at 7 p.m. on Lone Star Internet Radio. Be it drama or comedy, thriller or love story, every exciting episode is carefully chosen straight from the golden age of radio and performed live by talented actors, musicians, and sound effects crew. Every sound you hear will be 100% live and homemade. Anything can happen. So join us, please, every Saturday night at 7 p.m. for the Players Theater Company Old Time Radio Hour, right here on Lone Star Internet Radio.
That was Pat Green with Carry On. You're listening to Lone Star in the mornings. I got Charlie Riley in the studio. More information on Charlie Riley, check out charlieriley.org. He's running for County Commissioner Precinct 2, and they're having their runoff coming up May 27th. That's the day of voting. Early voting is May 19th through the 23rd. More information at mctx.org/election. We're back, and we were having some good conversation about what exactly does the County Commissioner Precinct 2 do? What do they do day to day? And it sounds, the gist of it is really the public roads and ditches.
Yes, sir.
The gist of it.
That's right.
And that includes, one of the funny things we were talking about are the road signs. And apparently that's always a common problem with the road signs, is people like to steal them.
People like to steal signs, especially if a developer goes out and develops a subdivision and puts street names down like Charlie Lane, Lone Star Lane. We've got a road called Tobacco Lane that we can put that sign up today and it'll be gone tomorrow. So what we finally had to do was put it up about 20 feet high in a tree, and about once every 2 months it comes up missing. So somebody has to put a ladder
It's a hot
up there
item.
or get on somebody's truck to go get that sign. But it's about every other month we have to replace that sign. But if it's a street name with somebody's personal name, they come up missing all the time.
I mean, I think a Lone Star Lane would look really good above my door. So thanks for telling me that. I didn't realize you could just get away with it. But
well, we will try to catch them, but you very
there's
seldom
nothing
catch
you can do
them.
about that. That's crazy.
It's not worth trying to go after them. And if you catch some kids and you can get their mom and dad, maybe they can make them come help us community service.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's not a whole lot you can do.
That's really funny. I can't imagine. So that's really how long is the term for county commissioner?
It's 4-year terms.
4-year terms, and then I guess after that, do you have any ambitions of doing more, or is that something you don't want to talk about until this step's done?
Well, I would like to, once we're elected, I'd like at least 2 terms, but I think that'd be enough for me. I don't want to be here so long that people just say, "Hey, it's time for him to go."
What does he
I
exactly
want to get
do?
out when I'm on top.
That's good. Yeah, well, it sounds like you have experience already with the county commissioner, so you know how this all works.
Yeah.
And especially with handling people, because it sounds like you actually go out and handle the situations with the roads and the ditches. Because what's funny about the maintenance of these roads and ditches, and also regulating these things, because it's something that people don't know about day to day, except if you live on Westheimer in downtown Houston, because you curse it every day.
Right.
But out here it's a little different, because I imagine it's a lot smoother. And but people don't really think about, because I didn't know that's what the county commissioner did.
Right.
And we can just call you if we have a problem.
Well, if it's on a county road, and you have to remember there's public roads, there's private roads, there's roads that are county roads that are not maintained by the county, and there's state roads, which belongs to the state of Texas. Any numbered road like FM 1488 or 2978, those are state maintained highway roads. Any county roads will have names on them, and if there's a county road that is maintained by the county, certainly we have to take care of it, and anything that's wrong with that road we need to take care of. But there's private roads like a gated community. If you live in a gated community, we don't have the authority to go in there and do anything. Those roads and those ditches and street signs and all that are up to the property owners to maintain. But there are roads that are county roads that are not maintained by the county. They never were accepted into the county maintenance system, and there's several reasons why that could be. The developer didn't finish them, or the developer didn't do everything he was supposed to do, and the roads were not up to standard, so we never took them in for acceptance for the maintenance system. So there's a lot of different things you need to know before you just run out and start doing something with a road. You have to know what road you're worried about.
Yes. I can't imagine the paperwork. How has technology helped the county commissioners?
Technology is an amazing thing when it's working. When it's working, GPS and those type things are just fantastic, and we use a lot of that to track our street signs and where our culverts are at and our work orders and that type thing. It's sad to say that when the power goes off, though, everybody just kind of looks at one another like, now what do we do? They don't want to go back to the old pen and paper sometimes, and you have to make them do that sometimes.
I can't imagine the maps you guys have.
A lot of maps.
Yeah.
Big maps.
Yeah, that's really cool. Well, actually, could you tell me, this is kind of a weird question, but could you tell me the last map that was printed that you guys use?
We're very fortunate that our engineer's office has big plotters, and they can map our precinct. And it's probably an 8 foot by 4 map, and it shows every street, every name, whether it's county maintained. It shows all the state roads. It shows all the bridges, where the bridges are at and what they're
I need to
rated.
get that map. We need to get a big one printed.
We might be able to get you one of those.
That'd be kind of cool.
I mean, it's something really neat to look at.
Yeah.
For Montgomery County, you see everything that's on the map, all the bridges, all the cross pipes, all the signs. I mean, it's all on there.
All the stolen tobacco lanes.
Well-
I need to know. I need to know the hot spots where to tell people to go.
And
But-
stop signs. We didn't mention stop signs a while ago. The stop signs are very popular too. You know,
Really?
kids want stop signs in their garage or in their room, and that's dangerous when somebody takes a stop sign. They don't realize.
definitely.
They don't realize how dangerous that is.
And also the I guess the inconvenience people take when they take the signs, the street signs. I don't know where I'm going.
And that's true. And a stop sign costs about $80, and then of course you have to go out and it takes man hours to go put it up.
Yeah.
And if they do something in the middle of the night, well, I have to call somebody out because we can't leave an intersection unprotected.
No, I agree.
So that costs money, and these people don't realize what they're doing when they take something like that.
Now, could you? I know this is probably not a number you know at the top of your head, but could you tell me how much money a year is spent on stolen property?
I couldn't tell you how much is on stolen property. I can tell you that we spend somewhere around $80,000 on signs every year.
Okay.
And some of that is stolen. Some of that just they're old and faded and need to be replaced. Some of it is damaged by vehicles. But it's around $80,000 for signs
Interesting, because I know that's something y'all got to keep the cost down because it happens so often.
all the time.
I mean, you can't have pretty signs, 'cause especially I know like some areas have like historic districts and they have
Right.
pretty street signs. I'm like, man, I bet those things cost some money and some
Well, and sometimes we don't. Sometimes we just won't maintain those. If somebody wants a certain nice historical sign, and we have them all over, that they will agree to maintain them. We'll give them the post and the stop signs and that type of thing. But if they want the big historical signs, and I know River Plantation is one of them that uses those type signs.
Yeah.
And there's some of those in the Woodlands.
So-
Some of the signs in the Woodlands are even illuminated. I mean, that's how far this technology is coming.
Yeah.
So,
I steal that.
well, I'm not going to say
kidding.
that.
I'm just kidding. I'm joking, folks, if you're listening. If you didn't know who I'm talking to right now, I'm talking to Charlie Riley. He's running for county commissioner, precinct number 2. They're having their runoff stuff going on May 27th. That's when you can vote. May 19th through the 23rd is early voting. mctx.org/election is more information on that. Now, Charlie, I want them to know, because you've lived in Montgomery County.
Mm-hmm.
So let the audience know what's going on. Like, where were you born?
Okay.
Were you?
I was actually born in Houston. I grew up. I was 14 years old when we moved out of the north side of Houston. My mom and dad, the north side of Houston was getting pretty rough back in 1971, and it was all coming this way. So they decided that we needed to move a little north. So we came up to Magnolia, Texas, and I came up here screaming and kicking because I didn't want to go. I didn't want to leave my buddies in Houston. And I wasn't too crazy about coming to a little old small town out here. And there was nothing in Magnolia in 1971, I can promise you. But it didn't take me about 6 months that I fell in love with Magnolia. When I got into the school and I saw how close everybody in school was. It was completely different from what I was used to in Houston. Everybody was friendly. There's always those guys that you're not going to get along with, but I got along with most everybody, and I loved going to school in Magnolia. I loved what I did. I graduated from 75 from Magnolia High School. I did not go to college. I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to go right into the workforce, so I did that. And I've done a little bit of everything from I was a route salesman for Coca-Cola for a while. I've drove a truck, and then I ended up working for Commissioner Doyle, which has probably been the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Oh, wow.
Because I just loved, when I was in school, my dad always gave back. I remember my dad would pick up somebody from the neighborhood that couldn't go to baseball practice because he couldn't get there, or he didn't have a glove, or he didn't have. My dad would get him a glove, and he would get him a pair of shoes, and he would take him. That's what my dad did, and that always stuck in my mind that I need to do the same thing, and I've tried to do the same thing. I've always given back ever since I was in high school. I mean, I belong to so many organizations that sometimes I'm too involved. I don't have time to do what I need to do sometimes, but I give back. I always want to give back. And when I went to work for the Montgomery County, I continued doing that, and that's what I try to do every day in my job. I try to leave going home knowing I did something just a little bit better, and I made something just a little bit better, and that's how I try to live my life.
Oh, wow. Oh, there you go. Charlie Riley. Guys, if you want to know more about Charlie Riley, visit his website at charlieriley.org. And is there anything else you want to tell the audience about? Of course, go out and vote.
Yes.
I mean, that's probably the most important thing. And then, of course, maybe vote for you.
Yes, that's what we're looking for. And I would like to say that on next Tuesday night, April the 22nd, we are having a runoff rally over at the Magnolia High School from 5:30 to 8:30, and it'll be a baked potato bar with all the trimmings. We'll have a live auction and a silent auction. A lot of elected officials will be there, and we'll introduce those folks at 6:30 in the evening. And we would just wish everybody would come out and join us and have a good time. And again, it's so important that everybody goes and votes. That's the key. It's a sad thing that only 16% of the people in Montgomery County voted in the primary. That's sad.
Yes.
And it's predicted that it'll be 8 or 9% in the runoff. That's even worse. So it's going to take everybody to get out and vote and talk to people. But we would appreciate your support, and we're working hard for that. And we look forward to taking over that seat January the 1st.
That's good. Good luck, Charlie. And folks, like I said, voting is important. Check out mctx.org/election for all, where you go to vote, what time you need to go vote, what days, because there's a lot of elections going on in May, and it even confused me. I'm not gonna lie, it confused me. But like I said, this voting for runoff election. May 27th is the voting day. May 19th through the 23rd, early voting. We're going to be taking a quick break. We're going to listen to some good songs. Here's some, let's see. I like Josh Ward. He's a local guy, and here's No Longer Mine with some Josh Ward. We'll be back on Mornings with Lone Star.
Hey everyone, this is Tina, your host from Retro Saturdays. I wanted to invite you to visit the Lone Star Studios here in downtown Conroe, Texas. We're all volunteers here, and we need your help in serving the Montgomery County area. Radio media is a fun field to be in. Lone Star Internet Radio serves Montgomery County with news, current events, local programming, and of course, music. If you are interested in volunteering and sharing your talents in media, go to irlonestar.com and let us hear from you. Lone Star Internet Radio, serving Montgomery County from the heart of downtown Conroe.